First one, we don't eat enough protein.
Yes, absolutely. I think that nowadays people think that they're having enough food in general, let alone enough protein, because maybe people aren't as aware as far as like which foods have the protein in it. Maybe they grab a protein bar or a protein shake when I think things like eggs, meat, seafood, dairy, these other more simple and easily accessible things are easily absorbable, bioavailable protein options for people. And if they could get more of that in there, I think it would help with sugar cravings, mood, immune system, hormones, muscle, so many different areas within their life that the first thing that everyone can do, and according to the experts as well, is just eat more protein.
Yeah, but the experts like me and like you, we're having a hard time convincing the health community, doctors, big pharma, our government, that what you and I preach is the actual gospel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I do have hope that more people are jumping on board and seeing firsthand. I think with COVID, unfortunately, more people lost as much, they don't have their same trust level in every institution, government, doctor having their backs, which is unfortunate. I think that we should be able to have trust in all these institutions, but regardless, the person who you can trust the most is yourself. And so if you can take care of yourself, and if you see somebody else who looks vibrant and energetic and looks healthy, then seeing, hey, what are you doing? And asking more questions, and maybe you try what they're doing and it doesn't work. Okay, let's move on to the next option. But I think there's a lot of people, unfortunately, nowadays who just don't have the willingness to want to try. Maybe they've given up on hope. Maybe they don't think that there's an option for them. They just hear the doctor said, hey, this is your inevitable fate. Here's your prescription. Here's your surgery. Here's your injection. And you just keep coming back every year for more.
Yeah,
so hopefully spreading the word of there's more options.
Yeah, I'm 70. And when I went on Medicare, I went into my doctor, who's a great guy. And he says, we're going to put you on a statin. I go, why? And he's reading off my cholesterol. I says, what's my cholesterol number? I'm going to give them to you right now so you can have these. Okay, here we go. This is recent now. Back then it was a spam. Total cholesterol 194. HDL. I'm a male now. HDL 72. Yeah. 72.
Amazing.
40 triglycerides. Blood sugar is 79. My total testosterone is 1,074, and I have a free testosterone of 111. Okay, with a PSA of 29. And so he says to me, "We're going to get you on a statin." I says, "No, you're not." He says, "Aren't my lipids great?" Well, your lipids are fabulous. He says, "Why put me on a statin?" Couldn't answer me.
Because you're too healthy.
Well, I'm 70. Okay. So
well, those are all great.
Yeah, no, totally.
If you were 20, I'd say that was amazing, let alone 70. Right. I think that's even more fantastic.
Exactly. But most people are not me. Okay. Sure. I question, and I have the information. Most people just go right in there. They write a script. They go right to the pharmacy. They get it filled. This is older people. Without asking any questions, do I really need this? Most of them don't even know what their blood numbers are. They have no idea how much protein they consume in a day. They have no idea how many carbohydrates they eat daily. So
yeah, I think it's quite an interesting time to be alive. I wish that within in school systems, kids would be able to wear a CGM or learn about tracking macros or what do their blood numbers read. Because I think that it's only when it's too late, sometimes for people, that they have to do a lot of extra work to get themselves out of a hole. And so I know that math and history and English and writing and all these other subjects are so important in school as well. But how is health the number one thing that helps you retain your math, your history, your English, your writing? When you have your health, your brain can function better, your hormones, your mood, your ability to function. It changes so much based on your health. And how are we not teaching that? I also think taxes is another one they should teach in school, but that's a different topic. It's just quite interesting, the system.
But how can you expect them to teach this to kids when they go to medical schools and they have very little class on nutrition?
Exactly.
Okay. So, I mean, you're going, okay, what do we do now? Okay. You've heard of Dr. Benjamin Bickman, right?
Yes.
Okay. He says 88% of our population is insulin resistant. That's huge. He's also the one who did research up at BYU on Alzheimer's, and they showed that the brain uses ketones for energy. All right. So it has two metabolic pathways, the glucose pathway and the ketone pathway. The glucose pathway shuts down. Your brain becomes insulin resistant. Doesn't work anymore. But it can use ketones for energy. So the brain functions properly. Well, what's that mean? That means low carbohydrate diet. That's basically it.
Right. And I think I was going to say that I think that even nowadays, it's not even that people have to go on a crazy quote low carb diet.
Yeah.
If you're eating whole, real foods,
Right.
it's hard to eat a high carb diet in the first place. And so I think if people just even went back to the basics of like eating real food, inevitably they're going to end up eating less carbohydrates.
True.
And so sometimes the word keto or low carb, it sounds scary. Is that safe? Is that going to hurt my heart? And so if we just even change the verbiage to eating real foods, then inevitably I think there would be a lot more improvements in people's health overall.
Yeah, real foods are not processed.
Yes.
Okay, and when we're going to move to the fat aspect too, the seed oils. They've been pushing on this lately about all the seed oils that people, which is true. Okay, but if you eat low carb, if you eat like Lance, if you eat like Lillie, you're not eating processed foods, you eat low seed oils because the seed oils are used in processed foods primarily.
Exactly.
Okay.
I see a lot of products nowadays that are coming out more with avocado oil, which is definitely a better step in a good direction. Though, unfortunately, even with avocado and olive oil, there's studies out there that over 80% of them are rancid and even can be mixed with canola oil. And so even though right now there's lots of different healthier alternatives to your chips, your pizzas, your breads that are using olive or avocado oil, I don't believe that those processed foods are using the highest quality versions of those oils because they're not going to make as much of a profit on their product. And so, yeah, it's still a better step in a good direction to move towards the chips that are cooked in avocado oil. But in general, it's just that hopefully those are temporary foods that help get you off of the reliance and the need for these ultra-processed foods because Lance, you even more so, your grandparents didn't have access to any of these foods. Oreos, Goldfish, Gushers, microwavable meals, all these things are brand new foods, and we're so reliant on them nowadays that when people look at what you and I eat, they go, oh my gosh, you guys are on a crazy diet. I'm like, I'm not on a diet. I'm just eating real food. And then if I don't eat the pasta, the bread, and all those other things, then they go, wow, you're really restrictive. You're really disciplined. And again, I don't think that things like bread and pasta were necessarily unhealthy foods in the past, but I don't think that those are the same foods nowadays that people have access to. And so it just makes it where it does seem really crazy to not be eating bread or a tortilla nowadays.
Well, back in the old days, okay, my grandparents, that was a long time ago, they made everything from scratch.
Yes.
Yeah. They made egg noodles. They made their own bread. Okay. Everything. And they didn't eat desserts. Okay. Didn't overeat meals. Period. All right. So people back then weren't heavy. Not many of them. Maybe 1 in 100. Now you're looking at maybe 7 out of 8 people have a weight problem. Period. Out of 100. Okay. It's terrible when you think about it. Now, what can you give in the next couple of minutes before I let you go for our younger people that are out there listening to you? How old are you, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 29.
Oh, you're a young one. Okay, that's a compliment, by the way. Okay, so
I love it. I'm a spring chicken. I'll take it.
preach your message. You're going to be around a lot longer than me by virtue of nature. Okay, get Lance's message out there to everybody because when I first came on talking about this back in the early 1990s, I was called a nutcase. Seriously, I'm serious. So this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's a nutcase. He's going to make you sick. He's going to make you gain weight. And I'm right. They're wrong because everyone's coming out now saying exactly what Dr. Fitness has been saying all these years. Now, do you deal with exercise with many people at all?
Yes. Usually my focus is more nutrition-based, but I think that both nutrition and exercise are a 50-50. If you want to live long, do them both. I think that if you could bottle up one thing into a pill that can reduce your risk of cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, heart disease, then that one pill would be exercise.
No doubt about it. particularly as you get older, because I know in my age group, you'd be shocked. The number of people my age can't get in and out of a chair without pushing up with their arms.
Yep.
And one of the things that they use to determine if you need to be in assisted living, if you can't get out of a chair without using your arms. And I would venture to say that's 50% of people in my age group. Now, you have a website, right?
Yes.
Okay, could you give that out to our listeners?
It's Lillie Kane, KANE.com. Lillie is LILLIE.
Okay, do that one more time, please.
LillieKane.com. LILLIEKANE.
Okay, Lily, I appreciate it. We'll be talking again soon, I'm sure of that, okay?